Welcome to another episode of Lengua de la Liga. We'll be covering match day 22 in this episode, including Espanyol's shock win at home against Real Madrid. We'll also be talking about all the other matches. If you guys like Spanish football, make sure you hit subscribe because Lengua de la Liga is the only English-speaking show on YouTube covering the Spanish top flight. Drop a like on the video and let us know your biggest takeaway down below in the comments. Let's start with a game at the top of the table. Atleti 2, Mallorca 0. I am an Atleti fan, for those who don't know. And I will say, from the Mallorca perspective, I thought they were pretty bad, especially in the first half. And this side is kind of collapsing right now, bro. I don't know if you've seen their recent form. 5 losses in the last 7 games for Mallorca, who looked like they were going to be the Girona of last season, the Cinderella of last season. Are they cooked?
Who's more cooked, Mallorca or Real Sociedad at this point?
that's the question of the episode. More cooked, Sociedad or Mallorca? Let us know in the comments.
I'm shocked though. No, I'm not really shocked though. Mallorca, do they have the squad to really go in and week in and week out in a La Liga season? I don't think they have it, to be honest. In this game, to be honest, Atleti should have won 3-4-0. I thought they were by far the better team. They just looked more refreshed, and I think that's down to Simeone and his rotating of the squad consistently. You can see this team is very fresh, which is good. You see Sorloth starting. You're seeing Griezmann get some rest, De Paul getting some rest, and they just had the legs to go. Even if they had a Champions League game midweek, all the way in Austria against a terrible RB Salzburg team, they return, they put up a good performance. To be honest, I thought it was a walk in the park. Walk in the park for Atleti, but one of my favorite players right now is Giuliano Simeone. I honestly love this kid. I think this guy's a Duracell battery, and he's just going up and down, up and down. He is exactly like his father. Tough nose in the faces of the opponents, and he's just he's a rat. He's a little bit of a rat, but he's a good rat, in my opinion. So I love Simeone. He's one of my favorite players right now in world football, and I thought it was a walk in the park for Atleti. Mallorca didn't really put up a fight, and yeah, Kyle Larin, though, is trash. He's just trash. I'm sorry. Sorry to all my Canadians out there, but I don't think he's good enough.
We do have several dozen Canadian subscribers. They will be furious. Let us know your rage down below. Is Giuliano Simeone the breakout star of La Liga this season?
No. I would say Casado.
Okay. Top 3?
Yeah. Yep, top 3, top 4, I would say there. Because he was on loan last season. I can't remember which club it was in La Liga, but I was not expecting this. Because, you see Simeone's son, you're like, okay, he's just there because his dad's the manager. But now this kid is actually good. I'm actually really impressed by him. And just, it's not like his footballing ability, but it's just the grinta that he has. It's just like his father. That's why I really rate him highly. And he got a nice assist on the weekend.
Gorgeous assist, man.
Yeah.
To Samuelino. Was it Samuelino? Yeah,
yep,
it was.
Lino.
Yeah. Casado, I'm okay with him being top 3. Simeone, can we think of a third breakout star of the season? I'm thinking Villarreal. I don't know if they have a break. I mean, you can't say Baena. You can't say
no.
Is Danny Vivian a breakout star?
No, not really. He kind of breakthrough star the last 2 years, but not this season. No.
John Aramburu? Is he a breakout star?
Yeah, maybe you could put in Aramburu, but to be honest, I'm not highly rating any Sociedad players at the moment with the way they're performing. Yeah. So, yeah, you could probably put Aramburu there.
Okay. Probably a poor time for me to try to put praise on any Sociedad player.
Yes, very poor time.
Yeah, very, very bad time. Let us know if there's another nomination that we're forgetting about. Just want to say this very quickly. Atletico Madrid at home this season, 12 games, 9 wins. 3 draws. They're the only undefeated team at home in La Liga this season.
Doesn't shock me.
Of course, we're going away to Real Madrid. Yeah. Also, that preview should be on the channel. Go check that out if you want to see us talk about Real versus Atleti kicking off next weekend. Yeah, man, I think Mallorca are done. Last thing I'll say about this game, your Johan Mojica shout for best signing actually looked quite good after that game. I thought he was clearly their best player. And I didn't even think it was close. I was like, can somebody give this dude some help on the left-hand side? I
They
mean,
did.
he's running his ass off. No one's doing anything else.
Nah, I feel bad for Mojica. He deserves better, bro. Go transfer to Rayo Vallecano or something, bro. You don't deserve this. The way he's playing. Because Mallorca, collectively, they just look fatigued. They were looking really good until they got smacked up by Barcelona, falling off a cliff.
Yeah, you could say that like broke them
Hmm.
psychologically. I mean, dude, they got murdered. I know we didn't get to do a weekly recap. They got murdered by Villarreal last week.
It was 4 goals in 8 minutes or 9 minutes. It was ridiculous. I was watching the game. I couldn't believe what I was watching. They got torpedoed.
It was really, really bad. You brought up Rayo Vallecano, so we could talk about them very quickly. Big 1-0 win away at Leganés. Dude, Rayo are on 33 points this season. They had 38 all last year. Barely survived relegation.
I don't know how they're doing this, to be honest. Are they more benefit because the other teams are faltering badly, like the Sociedad, to Girona, to Sevilla, to Betis? Is that why Vallecano are in the position they are, or have they actually improved? Obviously, points tally wise, yes, we can say they have improved, but I think it's just down to the other teams really faltering this season. But take nothing away. Seeing European football at the Vallecas, we will be there because that would be scintillating to see European football go to that stadium. And yeah, look, they're doing a great job, though. It's unbelievable what they have. But I don't want to get ahead of myself and say, yeah, they're going to do it because we've seen Girona get into that position. We almost saw Sevilla got close into that position, and they all just started capitulating. So I wonder if it's going to happen the same thing to Rayo Vallecano, but kudos to them. They're performing really well recently.
Yeah, I think I would chalk it down to having a very strong identity in style of play and not being that affected by injuries.
Yeah.
I think I would say they're just like a very consistent team right now. And I know we always talk about the Vallecas as being this scary stadium. Dude, if you filter La Liga results by home performance, they're 14th in the table. They're pretty down there. It's actually their away form that is pretty beast mode. They're 6th.
Jeez. Wow, that's actually
shocking.
Wild. That is shocking. That might be actually one of the more shocking stats we've heard this season in La Liga, because it's always the opposite with Rayo Vallecano. Elite team at home, struggling away. But hey, they're turning the corner there.
Another team that's struggling. Let's move on to Villarreal 5, Valladolid 1. Villarreal have scored 4 goals or more now in 3 of their last 5 La Liga games. They're up to 44 goals scored in La Liga, which is 11 more than Athletic Club and 7 more than Atleti. Insane. Like, these dudes, they just shootouts like every other game. And then they put in a stinker like out of nowhere. Really weird team, Villarreal. What did you think of the game? I don't know if you got to watch it. I don't know if you have a takeaway from this. I got a bit of a hater one, but why don't you go first?
I only got to see the extended highlights, but all I have to say is Jose Perez is him, because that goal was unbelievable. Unbelievable goal from him. And then Pepe is returning. Good to see him off the bench coming on. Alex Baena is just ridiculous player. I'm so happy he didn't want to go to Saudi, because I think that would have been a big loss for Villarreal and La Liga football if he went to Saudi Arabia. Although, I mean, like 60 million is ridiculous. But the fact that they rejected it and basically Alex Baena said, I'm not going to go, I think that's even better for La Liga football. And look, Valladolid are terrible, though. They should be relegated by now because of how god-awful of a football side they are. But Villarreal are you just don't want to play this team, because when they're hot, they're unstoppable. And when they're cold, everybody's scoring against them. Everybody. But right now, they're showing that form that they showed earlier on in the season. I think because of the injuries they had, they were kind of struggling to keep up with the rhythm of play. But right now, they're balling out. I think they're kind of benefiting a lot from having no European football this season, because now they're able to rest for an entire week, prepare tactically with Marcelino, and heck, when they're in form, like we saw against Mallorca and we saw against Valladolid, you can't stop these guys. But Papa Gay, man, that's a quality midfielder. I got to give credit to him.
Yeah, he's been a bit of a sleeper performer for me in the last couple of months as I've been watching these guys. I think Villarreal, they're a good right back away from being really scary. But Kiko, I just ain't sold, man. Like, offensively, he's just not very good. He's an okay defender. Like, I just think he's an okay player overall. But he's He's really holding them back. Like if they had Oscar Mingueza at right back, now we're talking. I mean,
Yes.
now we have something here. I said I had a bit of a hater takeaway from this. I didn't think Villarreal were that good, man, in this game. I'm going to be honest. Until Ayosi Perez just turned into Mr. Spain and just basically juked out the Valladolid back line and scored, they didn't really do shit against Valladolid. I thought it was quite dry, but once they scored, dude, Valladolid mentally were broken. And their goalkeeper, with all due respect, they need to look in the transfer market. He's shot. The guy's confidence is completely shot. He's not gonna keep them up. He looks so uncomfortable in every cross, every shot, can barely pass. It seems like how are you gonna avoid relegation if your goalkeeper's playing like that?
Well, I mean, they were already confirmed to go down. Just one last thing about Villarreal. What do you think about Tejon Buchanan going there?
I think it's a massive dub for La Liga. I think it's a dub for Villarreal. And I think it's a really good landing spot for Tejon. But he's got competition at the wingers. You know, he's kind of lucky that Ilias is injured. Because if he wasn't, how many minutes is he getting in this Villarreal side? You know, Canadian super fans would be like, oh, he's way better than Yeremy Pino. Oh, he's way better than Ilias. I don't know if we can say that because he was pretty good at Genk. I don't know if we can say that. You know, I mean, there's a reason he didn't sniff the field for Inter Milan. It's very exciting. Do you think he'll have a similar, better or worse impact at Villarreal than Anthony will have at Real Betis?
Well, what I saw from Anthony today was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna. Well, we'll get to that game in a moment. I'm a little bit worried about this transfer. I can't lie. Is he actually going to get minutes? No, okay, not like get minutes, but is he actually going to get starts? Yeremy Pino, Alex Baena, Pepe. Is he realistically starting there? I don't think so. Like I like Tejon Buchanan, and obviously the injury with his tibia is horrible because I mean I've had a fractured tibia. It's a horrible injury to return from. I think this is not the greatest move. I think he should have gone somewhere to like Austria or Belgium where he's certified to start every game. He's not going to start at Villarreal. I'm sorry, he isn't Canadians. I love the player, but he's just not going to start ahead. Like maybe though, this is a long-term replacement for Alex Baena. Are we thinking about that? That they're maybe thinking about replacing him in the summer because they're going to probably sell him on and they're looking at Tejon Buchanan maybe to be that replacement. Now, I don't think that's the smartest by Villarreal because Alex Baena is about 10 times the player that Tejon Buchanan is. But heck, why not give it a try and see if it works out?
With all due respect, that would be an insane downgrade.
Yes.
Alex Baena to Tejon Buchanan. That is, I don't know what a great card.
Okay, so why else would they do this transfer then?
Maybe they look at the injury that Ilias had. Was it an Achilles or an ACL?
ACL.
Okay, better than an Achilles. There could be some concern there. Yeremy Pino has been linked to leave Villarreal for 2 years. He's got an injury record himself. Maybe the Villarreal board is saying, hey, let's bring in this guy. He's very athletic. He fits the pace of play for Villarreal very well. And maybe they think, all right, we got him on a loan, low risk. He does well. We can look at our winger options, especially on the right-hand side, and we can let one of those guys go. And I guarantee you, any transfer fee they receive for either Ilias or for Yeremy Pino is higher than what Inter's going to ask for Tejon Buchanan. I mean, Tejon's probably going to go for what, 3.5 mil?
No, I think the option is 10 million, but I could be wrong. I think there was an option in the contract that it says 10 million to buy in the summer.
They're not paying that. That's a lot of money for Tejon.
I could be wrong. So people, if I'm wrong, let us know in the comments, but I think it was 10 million if I'm not mistaken.
All right, what about this? What if Buchanan to Villarreal allows Yeremy Pino to go out to the left-hand side? Alex Baena comes centrally. Tejon starts out right. Villarreal like to play two men up top. Recently, it was Gerard Moreno, Ayosi Perez. I'm not sure that's the best combo for how they want to play, and I'm sure it's still because Nicola Pepe is coming back from injury. But once he's fully fit, you go Pepe, Ayosi Perez up top, Pino left, Tejon right, Baena next to Carmona in the midfield. That's pretty nasty, man.
What about Papagay
Oh yeah.
and Parejo and also Parejo? We can't forget about Parejo, man. Even though he's getting
Well,
up in age, but
he's kind of in and out the starting lineup.
mm,
So I don't think they would play Carmona and Parejo. They'd probably play Baena, Carmona, Gay
yeah.
as a holding mid. And then Parejo comes on 60th minute, which he does a lot this season anyways.
You know what though? I'm
That's
actually
at least
liking this.
something.
I'm liking this Villarreal team. I'm liking the way they're building. I just think they're naive defensively because of the tactics that Marcelino does it. But if you're just a neutral and you want to watch the Liga football, to me, Villarreal might be number one at the moment, and Barcelona. But these two teams, man, Villarreal plays some scintillating football. When the engine is going, must watch.
That would be like when you create the sweatiest team in FIFA.
Oh yeah, like back in the day on FIFA with Ibarbo, Dumbia, and Gervinho. It's like that sort of team.
Just sweat, man.
Sweat.
Like that would be really, really tough for teams to cope with.
Mhm.
I don't know. I get what you're saying. For Tejan, I think it's riskier. For Villarreal, I think it's a no-brainer. Like, yeah, get him in. Of course. Oh, for 6 months? Yeah, we'll get him in. I don't think they paid 10 mil unless he balls out. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about that move, because I hear your concern on the player side. But I think for the club and for La Liga, of course, which is what we cover mainly, I think it's a dub in that sense. But we'll see. I'm curious to see when he debuts. Let's move on to the shock of the weekend. Real Madrid 0, Espanyol 1. I think it's time, dude, that we start calling Espanyol the Bolivia of La Liga. Because at home, these guys are bulletproof, man. I mean, unreal home performance from Espanyol in La Liga. They're top 4 in La Liga at home.
What?
They don't even
Top
need
4?
the altitude, bro. Yes.
No way
They're
is that
4th.
true. No
They're
way are they
4th in La
top.
Liga on home form.
What?
And dead effing last on away form.
Oh my.
It was just Atleti away. That's at 1 point. Away from home the entire season.
Wow. Yeah. They've only lost 3 games at home this season. Only 3.
And 6 wins?
Yeah, 6 wins. Yep.
Nah, bro. Stop. Hey, put some respect on Espanyol, man.
Oh,
Put
they're
some
not out of
respect
but they're not out
on
of the
these guys.
relegation. They're not out of the relegation fight because they're right in the midst of it. But okay, this game was a little bit wild. I actually tried to go watch the game, but StubHub decided to have tickets for $150. I said I'm not paying $150
to
go
see
to
Espanyol. No,
yeah.
man.
Well, I think it's more because of Real Madrid, but I was like, it's raining. I'm not gonna go watch this. I probably should have went to watch this because this was actually a wild game in the sense that the goal scorer should have been sent off. Do we agree with that? I mean, that tackle he did on Mbappe was straight criminal from Romero. Straight criminal. How he didn't get... You're lunging. I don't like to go talk about referees and VAR and stuff like that, but for me, that's a stonewall red card all day, every day. And then he gets the winner at the end of the game. Nah, football sometimes is so scripted where a player is supposed to get sent off, he scores the winner, and then the goalkeeper, Johan Garcia, man of the match performance. Some of the saves he was making. The one he made on Mbappe was the first time shot from Mbappe, and he got just fingertips on it. Was insanity. I don't think it's a bad result from... Okay, yes, it's a bad result. I don't think it was the worst performance from Madrid this season, if I'm going to be totally honest. I don't think they were lacking creativity. Obviously, Antonio Rudiger going down injured is a... I mean, how many center backs are they down to now? They got Tchouaméni, Asensio, and David Alaba returning from ACL. Militao is injured. Carvajal and Antonio Rudiger are all injured right now. I mean, horrific timing considering the schedule that's coming from Madrid. But I think this was just more unlucky day. Unlucky day for Real Madrid. Espanyol, they got the football gods on their side. They got the player stay on the field. And heck, they get the 3 points. And this relegation race, though, is getting crazy. I mean, if somehow these teams keep getting these miraculous wins, we've seen Leganes, we've seen Las Palmas, Espanyol, all beat the top 3. All 3 of them. Like, what other league is providing this? Premier League isn't doing this. Do you think Ipswich is beating Man City? Heck no. Do you see this in Serie A? Do you think Venezia is beating Inter or Napoli? Heck no. So you got to give credit to the lower sided teams in this La Liga season because they're performing against the big teams. They're really trying to make it difficult physically and tactically.
Physically, I thought Espanyol were incredible in this game. And there was some last-minute tackles in this match that were absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the entire Espanyol back line had at least one highlight slide tackle that I'm sure made their Instagram stories immediately after the game. Like it was one of the better defensive team efforts I've seen in a while. Like bodies on the line. How many free kicks were taken straight to the face by the Espanyol wall time and time again? I mean, they were willing to die for the point, and then it turned into 3. For the Romero thing, I'm an Atleti fan. Should it have been a red? I don't know. I'm okay with a yellow card. But I got to say, bro, that man Crawl in the midfield, I think he's from Czech Republic for Espanyol.
Yeah, Czech Republic. Yeah, Czech Republic.
He had a game, man. He had a game. Really, really good. I think Real Madrid, this is my number one takeaway. Real Madrid, when they don't have space in behind, like when they're playing against a team like Espanyol, they don't have a big 9. They have no aerial threat at all, especially with Rudiger now out. Now they don't even have a threat off corners. No Militao, who's great in the air. They have nothing in the air. And so you were seeing Rodrigo, who I actually thought he was quite good. I mean, he was cooking his defender out wide. It's just there was 7 Espanyol defenders in the box. And guess what? He's got to play every ball on the ground. So it's an easy interception, easy block, time and time again. Real Madrid, they're not quite one-dimensional, but they're not like Atleti or Barca, where I feel like there's more tools in the Swiss Army knife. They just got one blade that's really effing sharp. It's like a lightsaber, okay? But they don't have the ways to beat you when plan A isn't working. And I think we've seen this from Real Madrid and Carlo in the games they've lost this season. It's like, okay, if the game plan ain't working, what do we do? Oh, there is nothing we do. We just keep trying.
And what did they have? What did they have as a weapon last season? Jose Lu. There's no Jose Lu anymore. There's no real number 9.
Underrated. Exactly. Underrated.
Remember what he did in the Champions League semifinal against Bayern Munich? Came up clutch. Ridiculous. Now, look, I think Endrick is a good player. Endrick is not a threat from crosses. He's just not that sort of player. He wants also ball to feet, edge of the box, let me take a shot. Yeah, you could say Real Madrid are one-dimensional, but also I think Espanyol's, the goalkeeper, Johan Garcia, had a game. I mean, some of the saves he was making were ridiculous. And how did Real Madrid concede the goal? Vasquez sleeping at the back post. How many times are we going to see this season? How many times? So Carlo has to bench this guy. I'm sorry, bench him. Put Valverde there. I'm tired of seeing this Vasquez just trying to having any sort of attempt of defending. I think it's costing Madrid big time. And with the schedule they got coming up, Carlo has to make a huge choice here.
Well, do you know who was marking the other Espanyol forward in the box for the goal?
Who was it again?
It was Luka Modric.
Yeah, it was.
Luka Modric was marking the Espanyol center forward. I mean, it's just like, where are the defenders? I mean, it's getting peak. And when Rudiger walked off, I didn't think Espanyol were going to win the game. But I was like, okay, this is bad. For Real Madrid, this is bad. And I like Asensio. I think he's an over-criticized player. Same with Fran Garcia. I like him. I gotta be honest. I think he passes the eye test. But this is getting diabolical now for Real Madrid. And we got, 24 hours in the January transfer window before it closes?
No, they ain't doing
nothing. I think we have 18. They ain't doing nothing. You gotta get him now. Unreal result for Espanyol, dude.
I was shocked when I was watching it. Do you think Real Madrid should be worried though about this result though, or do you think it's just a one-off game and you just bounce back from it?
I think they should definitely be worried because if they win this game, then let's say Atleti get a miraculous victory in the Bernabeu next weekend. Real Madrid's still in first. But now, if Atleti take the 3, they're in first place. And it's advantage to Atleti the rest of the season. Because we still got another Clásico after this too. And we know how Real Madrid's looked in those games. We might as well subtract 3 right now. So, yeah, I think it was a big deal. I think it was a really, really big deal, actually. Both for the injuries and the points lost.
Yeah,
I do. Man, what the heck do we talk about next? Should we talk about Barca 1, Alaves 0? Game early this morning.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't spectacular. I think Barcelona got really frustrated. Oh my God, creativity was lacking in this game big time. Yeah, see, exactly. Even the creativity in my words are going out badly. Yeah, Barcelona just were not good, but they get the goal. A little bit of I mean, Lamine Yamal's crazy run in the first half is just going crazy on all the social media. But it was a missed kick from Lamine Yamal. Lewandowski's at the back post, gets the goal. Done. Job done. They didn't really defensively. I think they look quite solid in this game compared to previous weeks, in my humble opinion. And yeah, they get the job done. I don't think it was anything spectacular. This is a sort of result, though, that would, I think, please Barca fans. You can win ugly. We haven't seen this sort of ugly win from Barcelona since probably they had thought they win. Was it September or early October? I haven't seen Barca just grind it out. Like, it's always been 5-1, 4-1, 3-1. Oh my God, spectacular. Look at Lamine Yamal, Rafinha. No, today was, okay, we're frustrated. How are we going to actually get this goal? Well, Lewandowski comes up clutch and they get the 3 points. If they drop points in this game, though, oh yeah, I mean, that would have been horrific, in my opinion, because they actually defended well. Whereas in previous weeks, you could say, Barca not defending well. Today, defensively well, attacking-wise was the sort of lacking thing in their game, but they get 3 points.
All I'm going to say about this match is Kike Garcia. I know the brother's a little old, but it might be time to go back to school because that guy was getting caught offside. I don't care, bro. Did you see how many times this man was offsides in this game? I was like, dude, look at the line. It was insane how often he was off. And then, oh my gosh, then Alaves would make subs. The new guys would come off. First attack. Guess what? Offsides again. It was either a masterclass from Barcelona or we got to give my man some new contacts because it was happening and some of them were bad. He would be offsides by a meter. I'm like, dude, look, come on, man. It was bailing Barcelona out a lot. But I agree with what you said. They needed an ugly win like this. And it was pretty ugly. But it doesn't matter. 3 points is 3 points. 1-0 is the same as 10-0. And they live to fight another day. I completely agree. I don't really think there's anything else to talk about in this game. I got a stat here: 14 wins in the last 16 games for Barcelona against Alaves, and 2 draws. They haven't lost for a long time. I think 2015 was the last time they lost. Really, really long time ago. Let's talk about your boys, Athletic Club versus Real Betis. Now, I missed the first 30 minutes of this game, maybe 35. And I'm pretty sure you were upset with Unai Simon specifically for something I still have not seen.
All right. Athletic Club, the team that always just frustrates me, makes my weekends a little bit worse, especially it's a Sunday night, Monday morning got work. And Unai Simon, we need to check his bank account because that performance was horrific. I mean, first off, Antony actually looked good. And that's the scary part. But I'm just going to say this. For everybody who doesn't usually watch Athletic Club, Lekue is a god-awful left back. God-awful. Please, I don't know why Valverde keeps playing him. He's just average at best. Actually, not even average. He's bad. He's bad. There's 2 left backs better than him at the club, and yet he's still getting minutes. But Unai Simon, the Perron shot, you should be saving. The Antony shot, you parry it straight to Isco. Like, really? Well, Unai Simon, you have to do better. If I'm going to be honest, I think Betis should have won this game. I think Athletic Club were kind of fortunate. 2 goals from 2 set pieces, and that's the game right there. That's it. Now, obviously, Nico Williams was missing. I don't think Berenguer had a good game at all. He was kind of getting bullied all over the place. Thank God that Sunset is back, though. Sunset is just the missing piece for this team because he's the only guy who can really come up with the clutch goal on this team. And yeah, look, I think it was a fair result, 2-2. I think Betis actually played really good football, especially at home. They're good home sides, just away from home. They're struggling, but they're going to be frustrated because they had a 1-0 lead, threw it away, 2-1 lead, threw it away just because of corners. But yeah, just a frustrating again. Like 2 draws in a row for Athletic Club. First against Leganés and a Real Betis team who are really struggling. I mean, Athletic Club could actually be in this title race if they were just serious in these 2 games, but frustrating point. And Antony, I'll give some credit. He actually looked good. But maybe La Liga teams are going to figure out, don't show this guy the left foot and let him cut inside. That's all you need to do to stop this guy. Because he's not going to go around the outside. But Abde, at least, wasn't starting.
Yeah, I think Real Betis lost this game on the second equalizer from Bilbao because I agree that from open play, I didn't think Athletic Club were doing much. There was a couple good attacks. One that Iñaki Williams completely effed up with it should have been a short layoff pass to, I'm not sure who it wasn't Sunset. I don't think it was Berenguer either. I don't know who it was, but just played him way too far wide, killed the move. It was dead. Outside of that, I can remember maybe one dangerous cross from Athletic Club down the right-hand side that might have done something. But I thought in terms of like who looked dangerous, who was controlling the game, it was Real Betis. And I almost had to issue an apology on this video, but thankfully they conceded 2 corner kicks and I don't have to do so. They have definitely had their best games of the season against the big teams in La Liga, and it's not even close. Like, I cannot believe how ass cheeks these guys are whenever they play somebody in the bottom half of the table. And then they have a great game against Barcelona, annihilated Atleti. I'm not going to say they annihilated Bilbao because they didn't, but there was a team who should have won. It was Real Betis. I don't think any, Basque fans would debate us on that point. But they do in the end just walk out with 1. I don't really have another takeaway for Betis in this game. Anthony looked good. He looked encouraging. Looked like there was already some early chemistry with Isco, which I think will be important. Didn't really think Marc Roca did that much. Danny Vivian was good. He had a couple really, really big interventions in this game. Probably the reason you guys didn't lose. And I think that's that. Yeah, Athletic Club, it's like the rotation, which we compliment Valverde on, almost is like a detriment at times. Where it's like, really?
Yes.
You're not going to start him for this game away at Betis, the only place where they can do anything? They're terrible on the road, unless you're playing Mallorca, and then they win. So, yeah, it's just, I thought it was overall a pretty exciting game until Bilbao scored the second, and then I thought the last 20 minutes were dead. Like, nobody really went for it. It was...
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Valverde in this rotation. Just start Boiro. And if you're going to rotate and you're going to start 2 left backs, just start Boiro instead of Lekue. I'm just tired of this guy. So, yeah, that's the biggest takeaway. And I don't know what Pellegrini is going to do with the striker position because Pocombo had a couple good chances. He was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, didn't even hit the target. So, Vitor Roque has been struggling recently. I think you got to just trust the kid because Pocombo, he's not it either. He's had a nice career, but he's at twilight of his career. So, yeah, 2-2 was a fair result.
Every Betis attacker has a high work rate and no shot. It's insane. None of them can shoot. But they all track back, but none of them can shoot.
Yeah, even Anthony was tracking back today. I was shocked.
Dude, what's the one kid, Jesse Rodriguez? Is that
Rodriguez,
academy kid on the left?
Yep.
I mean, can't pass the ball to save his life, but my God, does he track back and put in a tackle? Which is great on the defensive side of the ball, but they're really limited with the final ball and the final attack there. There's no sting in this team. Valencia 2, Celta de Vigo 1. Celta de Vigo, loss number 11. 11. Only Valladolid have more. And they're now 4 points clear of relegation.
They might be dragged
I'm not predicting this. They might be dragged into the fight. I don't think they go down, but
I think they're going to be dragged in. It's looking a little troublesome right at the moment. And I'm just happy Valencia, because I think they've been performing better other than the annihilation in the Monza week. I actually think Valencia have been performing pretty well. And I think they've rightfully now got a result go their way. The Real Madrid game, I think they should have won. But obviously they threw it away themselves. So Valencia have actually been performing better. I think now with an easier schedule for Valencia, you're going to see them start collecting more and more points. I think they're linked to a couple more players for the transfer window before it ends tomorrow. So, but for Celta Vigo, I would start getting worried a little bit. This is not looking great. Like, the performances are not good. I thought today Valencia were by far the better team. And how do you rectify this situation? Because a lot of these teams right now, Espanyol are performing well. Leganes, I mean, they're not going to score a lot of goals, but they're just a defensive unit. You got Getafe, who will never die. Those guys never die. So if you're Celta, you got to be careful because they're not used to this situation of a relegation battle. I think it favors the teams that we've been here before. Like Cadiz for so many years. Cadiz always looked like they were going to go down, but because they have the experience in relegation battle, they were able to manage it. If Celta get into this dogfight, they might be going down, which would be a shock to me, seeing Celta go down.
Massive shock. And honestly, they're too good to go down. Like the personnel they have, they should not be going down. And they got Real Betis at home next week. They need to win. You have to be Betis at home. And then after that, they come to our house, Atletico Madrid away.
Okay, because right now they're 4 points above Alaves. Valencia are 6 points behind them. Realistically, how many teams do you think are going to be on the final match day in the relegation fight? Because Valladolid, they're done. They're relegated. How many teams do you think? Right now, it would be 6 teams. How many teams do you think will be in that relegation fight on the final match day?
Damn, man. Valencia's there. Alaves, Leganes, Espanyol, Valladolid relegated, but I mean, we can still count them. It will be the Celta or Getafe. I don't think Las Palmas. I mean, like, will they be in the fight or will they be relegated?
On the final match day.
No, they'll be clear. They'll be safe.
Because Las Palmas are struggling right now as well. A lot of these teams are struggling. Not Getafe. Las Palmas, I mean, Leganes are a bit inconsistent team. I feel like Las Palmas might get into this fight as well. I mean, the relegation fight this season is going to be much better than last year because last year was dead. So we could see a lot of teams on this. I'm just hoping, like, I'll have to check what the final match day is if we get, like, relegated teams against each other, because then it would be an all-timer last match day.
Yeah, Las Palmas, man, they have a tough next 4 games. Oh, my God. Girona away, Villarreal at home, Mallorca away, Barca at home. They might get 1 point from that. That's really tough. Oh, my Lord. Oh, they're going down 100%. No,
now they're going down.
But good Lord, they're going to be in the fight. I will say, though, I'm looking at their last 5. Dude, you can't make this up. Last match day, Espanyol away. That might be the one.
I was just looking at the last match day. There's Getafe versus Celta as well.
Getafe, they're going to be in it because they get too many draws.
Yeah, they just don't have enough goal scoring.
Yeah. Unless they're playing Real Sociedad, who lost to Osasuna again.
I mean, Leganes might be the biggest fortunate team on the last match day because they got Valladolid. So, this is going to be fascinating, though, because you can clearly see these the lower-sided teams in this league. They actually are competitive against the big teams, but it just seems like they struggle against each other. Like, they cannot find any rhythm. But when it's a Atleti or Barça, a Real Madrid, Athletic Club, they show up. So let's see what happens. It's going to be changing every week for sure.
100%. Any closing words on Sociedad being a Finnish club?
Nothing. Oskarsson's doing well. That's it.
Shout out to him. Another goal. Didn't matter. But got another goal. 3 in the last 2 for him. 4 losses in the last 5 for Sociedad. If you look at the form table in La Liga, dude, they're 18th. They're relegated right now in the form table.
I'm not going to say anything crazy, but they're 7 points above the relegation zone.
Is it more embarrassing that Sociedad or Betis are struggling so much?
Oh, no, Sociedad by far. Because they have a much better team than Betis.
This team is good.
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry. Aguacil, he's not even getting his squad to 60%. They should be fighting for 5th right now.
Oh, easily. They're probably performing like at 30% capabilities. If we're even being kind here. 30%. With the Kubos, with the Zubamendis, Aguero, who we've praised a lot, Aramburu, Oskarsson. I mean, what's going on? Their goal. It's the biggest issue for them is goal scoring. How can you only have 18 goals in 22 games? 18 goals
with that squad. With that squad.
Look, Sevilla have scored more goals. Las Palmas have scored more goals. Leganes have scored more goals. Two of the bottom three teams have scored more goals than Real Sociedad.
It's embarrassing, man. I mean, they genuinely play at times the same ball as Sevilla with a squad that's twice as good.
Yeah,
It's I don't know. I do agree that the 9 is a problem, but I also think maybe the midfield composition, maybe it's too safe from Alguacil. Maybe he needs like something a little. There's no like dynamite there, like Zubamendi's great. That's why their defense is so good. Bryce Mendez, has he been as good as I thought he was going to be? He hasn't been bad, but they almost need like an Isco, right? Like they need like that dude, that Baena, who's just gonna pull the strings in the middle. Lo Celso would be huge for Sociedad, but it's still no excuse. Like they should be in 6th at absolute worst right now.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know what's going on.
I was looking at, last thing I'll say here, Alguacil, his last finishes in the league with Sociedad. I'll start with 2019. They finished in 6th, then 5th, 6th again, 4th, and 6th last season. Do they finish 6th again when it's all said and done?
No way. There's no chance. Have you seen? Okay, let's look at their last 5 games. They've lost to Celta Vigo 2-0, and Celta have been struggling recently. They lost to Valencia 1-0. They gave Valencia a huge win. They lost to Getafe at home 3-0. Getafe at home 3-0. And they lost to Osasuna 2-1 today. And Osasuna have been struggling recently as well. And Budimir got 2 goals finally for the first time in a long time in La Liga. So this is not like the top teams in La Liga that they're struggling against. We might have to check what their upcoming fixtures are, because it might get worse. I'm being serious. It might get worse. If I'm looking at the next. Okay, so they got Espanyol next. Then they got Betis, Leganes, Barcelona. They got to start picking up some form there.
Have to beat Leganes.
I would say have to beat Espanyol as well.
Oh, Espanyol away has to be 3 points. Oh, even Osasuna away right now on Sociedad. Oh wait, that's in the Copa del Rey. Sorry. Betis away. Ooh, okay. I mean, they're good enough to get a point. Even the fact that we're talking like this is embarrassing. Like they should even have a chance to beat Betis away, but they're just. I mean, they're like the goddamn Manchester United of La Liga right now. It's really poor. I mean, if you want to say Spurs, you can say Spurs too, or West Ham. I don't know which. I don't really care how you skin the cat, but it's unacceptable that they are. I mean, dude, they're 1 loss away from dropping to 13. 1 loss away from dropping to 13.
That's why I say if they lose 2 more games in the next 3, I think they're in a relegation battle. I really do. That's why I'm not going to go crazy now and say, oh, they're in a relegation fight. If they lose their next 2 games, panic.
Maybe getting knocked out of Europe will help.
That might be their saving grace, though, for this season. They got to have some competitive juice in their blood right now. Because now it's just like, when you're going through a rough patch and you're having no confidence, the only player on this team that has confidence is Oscarson, which is crazy because he's the guy who had no confidence at the beginning of this season. And now everybody else is struggling big time. So I don't know how it's going to be rectified.
They are in big trouble. So we're going to have to put a bookmark on the Sociedad storyline, because it's just embarrassing for a club forget the size of the club. Just the roster is way too good to be playing like this. So who knows? Guys, we might do like a little relegation special at some point coming up. Sociedad might be featured in that episode, which is just insane. I really like this La Liga season. I think it's been fantastic. There's so many storylines that are popping up every single weekend. And, your guys here at Lengua de la Liga, we're going to keep covering them. So if you enjoyed today's episode, drop it a like. Make sure you hit subscribe, because we're the only English-speaking La Liga show here on YouTube. Please check out Michael. The link to his social media is in the description. We appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see y'all in the next one.